Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Terror Talks. Today we are on episode 39, and we are talking all about Dark Castle haunted attractions and their 2021 haunt review. Our team was very privileged to visit there just a day after visiting several haunts in North Georgia, and then we got to go basically across South Carolina and hit up a couple haunts up there. So this is sort of the beginning of our South Carolina haunt review. We checked out 4 haunted attractions that evening on October 2nd. October 1st, we checked out 4 haunted attractions in North Georgia, and it was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. Saw a lot of unique haunted houses, some good, some bad, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to break them down and let you know what we thought about them. So let's just dive right in to this one. On Friday, September 24th, Dark Castle opened their doors to their first unsuspecting victims for the 2021 haunt season, which would feature their 3 signature attractions: Dungeon of Darkness, their indoor attraction; Zombie Zone, their zombie shooting experience; and finally, the Dark Knight's Terror Trail, their outdoor haunted trail. Dark Castle's philosophy: we at Dark Castle strive to scare, but we know that not everyone scares the same, so we will amaze, stupify, frighten, startle, disgust, and possibly offend, but we will always entertain. This was our second year visiting this interesting attraction. We were intrigued by our experience last year, and we knew that we must return for a follow-up this year because there's just something about this place that is different and yet still a lot of fun. But what do we mean by different? What does Dark Castle do that other haunts don't? Do they have the right formula to attract many customers, or will their uniqueness cripple them in the haunt industry? Keep listening and find out as we explore Dark Castle Haunted Attraction. So for this year's haunt reviews, we have broken them down into 6 categories. Each haunt is broken down into 6 categories. They are sets, costumes, makeup, and special effects, technical effects, scares, pacing, and actors and team. This is basically how we keep from giving any biased opinions to each of these houses. So each house is being rated on the same scale, and because we're breaking them down, we really get to take an in-depth look at each attraction. With Dark Castle, because they do have multiple attractions, we are going to be rating each individual attraction and then combining the scores to get the average for each individual section. However, we will omit the zombie shooting range just because that's not really a haunted attraction, so to speak, and not every venue has a zombie shooting range. So that one is merely just going to be sort of a on the side, a la carte, if you will. So, with this new system in mind, let's break down our 6 categories for Dark Castle's 2021 haunt.
I want you to see my favorite gift I've ever received. It's my social distancing stick. 6 feet. Ah! I know, it's a bad joke. But you know, my husband made this for me. Can you guess what he's into?
Feet.
Stop making, you weirdo. Oh.
What did we say? Feet? I said feet. I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, yes, my friend, it does. For a perfect mind, everything makes sense.
Konnichiwa.
I'm psycho. So we do have a couple rules. Everybody got masks on very good. We got lots and germs around here. But lycanthropy, werewolf. Ooh. We got zombie germ. New germ coming out. Spread in the woods. Chlamydia. It's very, very contagious. You don't want to touch nothing. I think you'll be okay, honey. You get vaccinated, you'll be okay. So, inside, we have arrows to tell you which way to go. Big X on the floor. Stop. Slow down. Enjoy the scene. Don't run. And we won't leave you there. Bye-bye. Run. Laugh. Ha, ha, ha. Good. Don't touch anything, anybody. They won't touch you unless you're danger. When you finish inside, side. Behind you. The 3 sides. Up a zone. Go over there. Shoot zombies.
Yeah, I believe you.
So, no photography, flashlight, nothing inside. Okay? Ready? No.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, come on! Okay, so this was made in China, so sometimes it don't work. My people didn't make it. No, honey, if it was Toshiba, it worked okay. So, see, the button don't like me. No! Para su Japan, Pacifica. Right? It is what it is.
Come the dark.
There we go. Okay, see, it's okay.
Conservative since 1999.
That's far enough. You have entered Dark Castle's afterlife care. It is my job to prepare the bodies. Sometimes that's as simple as stitching up a terrible injury. Other times, we remove organs that we can resell. But the best part is when they're not quite dead yet. And I can finish it. That's my favorite part! Let me give you some rules. Please do not take your cell phones, cameras, or flashlights out while you are in the Dark Castle. And please do not touch any of our monsters. And they might not touch you. Now, if you dare, go through this doorway and turn to your right. I hope you all like spiders.
Get out! God can't save you now. You're in the afterlife.
I'll get out. I'll get out.
Oh, look at
You're
that.
walking very slow. If you stay in here long enough, you stay with me.
Subjects of you. Please come in.
Oh.
You need a skip today?
Smell better at night. I You might want to run. Right about now, because he's coming back. Go! You better hurry up.
Before you, where are you going? Stay here. Oh, I must send a protection spell before you move on. But first, I need to do a magic spell.
He looks like the witch Jesus.
What do you mean by that? I'm more than a witch and a Jesus. I am the perfect one. Now, first is makes the spell. First the bird that flew away. Then the key to my man's heart that I gave away. And then next, the rat that sent him crawling away. Now, please give me the coin so we can proceed further.
What coin?
What?
You don't have the coin?
I got a phone.
I need the coin!
We don't have the coin.
Well, there's nothing I can do for you. You must leave. Leave now before he comes and gets you.
I know he.
What are you waiting for? You need to get out of here. I'm sorry, Beelzebub. Please protect them in their journey. I'm so sorry. I will pray for you.
So when you first arrive at Dark Castle Haunted Attraction, you truly are not sure what type of experience you're going to be in for, because all you really see when you get there is this large-ish kind of building. There's a fence down at the other end, so there's clearly something behind the fence, but there's not a whole lot to indicate where you are. There's a sign that says Dark Castle Haunted Attraction, but the building itself just doesn't scream haunted attraction by any means. It's very much kind of like, oh, where are you? It's very, very, very strange. Then the more interesting thing that you find once you enter this place is that this place is different. Very, very different. And it's not your typical haunted attraction. It really is sort of hard to explain and visualize, but stay with me. Maybe you'll understand it by the end, or maybe you'll get to go visit there. But any given day, you'll run into any sorts of kooky characters, one of them being a male Minnie Mouse. Yeah, that's right, you heard me correctly, a male Minnie Mouse. There is a man who dresses up in this full get-up, this full Minnie Mouse attire, the ears, the shoes, all of it, a dress. and he's got like a 5 o'clock shadow on his face. So it's like a transvestite Minnie Mouse. It's really kind of weird, but I mean, it's sort of funny too. It's comical, but at the same time, slightly disturbing. Then, apart from him, you're going to meet some other characters who have some adult senses of humor. You know, you meet a wizard who is very, very interesting. He likes to make jokes about his staff with a ball on top and talks about his ball and touching his ball a lot. Very, very strange adult humor, but they make it very clear from the get go that if you can't handle the way they are, you can't handle these jokes, you can't handle this sort of humor, then you ought to just leave. They're an all inclusive type of group, you know, anything goes, and you're just going to get a very interesting haunted attraction. And all you can say about it is this haunted attraction is interesting. So let's break it down. So first up, we've got the sets. So for the haunted house portion, I gave them a 3 out of 5, and for the haunted trail portion, I gave them a 4 out of 5, giving them a total of 3.5 out of 5 screams. So the sets at Dark Castle really aren't anything to go on about, and depending on which attraction you're in and which part of the attraction you're in, that'll determine what you're getting. So in the haunted house portion, very early on, you enter this hallway that is basically just black tarp and some fluorescent lighting, glow in the dark type paint, and spider webs. Nothing really lackluster, nothing that screams haunted house. In fact, it honestly screams backyard haunt. And we've experienced that before. This isn't the first time we've seen that in a haunted attraction, where it basically feels like you're going in somebody's backyard and just sort of playing around, they're having fun. It's not really meant to be serious, but they don't market themselves as a backyard haunt. They market themselves as an actual attraction, a haunted attraction. So if I'm being told that this is what this is, then I want it to be that. I don't want it to be some cheap knockoff of a backyard haunted house, because that's not what I'm here for. That's not what I paid money for. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's one of those things. And honestly, for me, that was a big, big letdown to experience that and see that it just wasn't that great. So I was very disappointed by that. Then inside of the haunted house as well, there was the spinning tunnel gag. Everybody knows this one. The tunnel spins around you. You feel like you're flipping upside down and all that fun stuff. Well, their tunnel was not working. This really let me down big time, because that is such a great gag that every haunted house I feel should have somewhere, and they just totally let it fly out the window completely, and that was very disappointing to me. I love the spinning tunnel thing, and when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. So that was very disappointing that it didn't work. So that's why the indoor portion got a 3 out of 5. Now, the outside portion, the haunted trail, I gave them a 4 out of 5 because they did have some really cool sets out there. They had some really awesome stuff going on. Lots of cool set pieces, lots of immersive things. You know, you felt like you were going to these locations. However, there were some sections on the trail that you felt like you were walking in somebody's backyard. You saw the plywood and the 2x4s and the black tarp, the painter's tarp, again, and it just screamed backyard haunt again. And unfortunately, because of that, that's why we gave the trail a 4 out of 5, because you have these facades, and then that's what you get inside the facade. So a little bit of a letdown on terms of sets. So total 3.5 out of 5 screams for sets. For costumes, makeup, and special effects, we gave the haunted house a 2 out of 5. We gave the haunted trail a 2 out of 5, leading to a total of 2 out of 5 screams. So the costumes and makeup department didn't really seem to have to work too hard on this haunted house, and honestly, it just looked like many of the costumes were probably pulled off of a shelf at Walmart or Party City during Halloween and just thrown on. There wasn't really anything unique going on. I don't really feel like there was. It wasn't very creative. And it was very plain, to be quite honest. I mean, in terms of the costuming and makeup, lots of plain Jane type of stuff. Not a lot of detail to it. Not much of anything, really. And so it just wasn't very good. So I'm very sorry to say that. So unfortunately, costume, makeup, and special effects got a 2 out of 5 screams. Then we have the technical effects. Now, this is always very important to me in haunted houses, especially given the modern age that we are in now. And unfortunately, they really don't have a lot of technical effects in their haunted house. And I'm talking like all around, like music, lighting, fog. There's not a whole lot that they used. So the house, I gave it a 1 out of 5, and the trail, I gave it a 2 out of 5. So that was a total of 1.5 out of 5 screams. So, like I said, in terms of technical effects, there really wasn't anything. I mean, they had some lighting in a few places, and they had some fog in a couple places. And there was a little bit of music, but not a whole lot. It really wasn't that amazing. In fact, I was very let down by just the sheer lack thereof of technical effects in this haunt. In fact, the only reason the trail got a 2 out of 5 was because they did have a couple really interesting things. They had a couple animatronic figures out there working, but there was one moment that was a sort of Hansel and Gretel cabin, if you will, and it was like Hansel and Gretel got booted out, and now it's been converted in like a bar or strip club kind of thing, and they had all these neon light signs and stuff, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. It's kind of funny. I get it. So I will say that did do pretty well, and I was pretty impressed with that. I thought that was a good use of some technical stuff that you don't see too often. So unfortunately, though, technical effects scored a 1.5 out of 5 screams. So for scares, we gave them a 1 out of 5 on the house. In the trail, we gave them a 2 out of 5. So again, 1.5 out of 5 screams for scares. So scaring is basically why you're at a haunted house. You want to be scared, and I understand that Dark Castle is different, and they kind of go from a different angle, but you still want to have scares in there. You don't want to go through, spend all this money expecting to be scared, and then you don't get scared at all. Because that's basically how we felt. Most of the time you're there, you're spent laughing, you're not really getting scared of anything. There's a couple here and there depending on where you are. In the house, there really wasn't but a couple, maybe 1 or 2. The trail, there might have been 3 or 4, so that's why they got 1 more point than the house. But there just wasn't a whole lot out there. I mean, it really wasn't all that scary to me. And I wouldn't say that there was enough scares between the two of them to even consider this attraction a haunted attraction, because it almost felt like a bit of a joke. I mean, like I said, it wasn't scary. Now, for little kids, maybe it would be awesome, but, I'm not a little kid. I am 22 years old, so I want to go and get scared. So this was very disappointing for a haunt reviewer to visit a haunted attraction, but then not get scared. So they left me feeling very disappointed in that regard. Then for the pacing, we gave the house a 3 out of 5, and we gave the trail a 4 out of 5. So together, that's a 3.5 out of 5 scream. So the pacing wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. I mean, usually when you go to a haunted house, there isn't too much stopping and starting again. Like usually you'll slow down a little bit, but you never fully stop. At this in the haunted house and in the trail, they have moments where you actually stop, and they've got an actor out on the trail who will sort of be with you to stop you and whatnot. And so that makes it a little bit longer, but the things that you're stopping for most of the time, at least in terms of inside the house, are more so for their little comedic shticks. They're not for scaring you or anything. Out on the trail, there's more scary moments. That's when you stop. But I mean, the stopping and going is just a lot of unnecessary dramatics. And like I said, it's unnecessary. I mean, it doesn't really feel like it needs to be anything. It's just another chance for the actors to kind of do some more joking improv with you. And that, to me, that's not why I'm there. It's not why I'm at a haunted house. I want to be scared. And, I'm okay with every once in a while getting some jokes and whatnot, but not the whole time. And then on a side note, I like I said, this has no effect on the rating, but the zombie zone that you get to go to, it only takes about 5 minutes to do. And for me, that feels like a bit of a ripoff when you have these other two attractions that are pretty decent in length. They're not very long, but they're decent. But then you get this zombie zone, and it takes about 5 minutes to shoot a couple zombies. To me, I feel like that's just a bit of a ripoff. They clearly, I can tell, have enough woods there that they could probably expand it, push it back a little bit further, do a little bit more stuff. I'm not sure what the reason is behind not doing more stuff, but I think they need to explore options to lengthen that. But like I said, the zombie zone had no effect on the overall rating at all. So it's just a side note. Now, the actors and the team. This is where we see a positive side to all this. So in both the Haunted House and the Haunted Trail, I gave them 5 out of 5 screams for both, leaving to a total of 5 out of 5, because the actors at this attraction really are top notch. They love what they're doing. Every interaction that you have with them, you can tell that they are having so much fun being there. And they're very skilled in improv, comedy, acting, all of that, because they've just got jokes ready to fire off at a moment's notice. Like, it doesn't matter. They've got them loaded up and ready to go, so they will have them to hurl at you. And that's what I do love about this attraction, is that there is this level of interaction with them and you, especially out on the trail, because you actually have a guide who goes through with you on the trail. And while I'm not a big fan of the whole stop and go thing and, really stop and take in a scene and watch this thing unfold in front of you, it does also sort of lend itself well to the interaction portion, and that's a good thing to have. Like, they do a really good job of interacting with you and making you feel like you're a part of the thing, and they're really down-to-earth people, too. You can tell that they seem to really enjoy what they're doing. Nobody ever seems to show up mad. I've never seen anybody, roll their eyes or feel like, oh, great, I'm back here again. They all seem to really enjoy being there, so that's a great thing. And, that's always very important to me with haunted houses. You want a team that is, top of their game, ready to go, zero regrets about being there. So that's very important to me. I'm very glad that the team there is, very excited about being there. So good on them for that. So let's review. For sets, we have 3.5 screams. For costumes, makeup, and special effects, we have 2 screams. For technical effects, we have 1.5 screams. For scares, we have 1.5 screams. For pacing, we have 3.5 screams. And for actors and team, we have 5 screams, leading to a grand total of, drumroll please, 3 screams, ladies and gentlemen. So Dark Castle Haunted Attraction isn't a bad haunted house. It's just different. I know I really kind of dug into them hard on this one. But, they're not a bad haunted house. They're just not very scary at all. And they have some lacking in some places. They have different morals and values. And like I've said before, you'll discover those as you venture through. The staff there love their jobs, and that's very evident. Everybody has a smile on their face. They're cracking up. And it's the place, it's a great place. And honestly, how many places are you going to go where you get 3 attractions for $20? I guess technically you're only really getting 2 because the zombie zone is so short, but neither here nor there. Now, these attractions aren't necessarily Hollywood quality, but they're still fun. And I would say that this is a really great place that you could start off with younger kids if you don't mind hearing some of the more adult-friendly jokes as well. Think of it as like the SpongeBob of haunted houses. You're going to kind of expose them to the haunted house, but there's going to be some innuendos throughout. So if you want to check it out, be sure to check them out and rate them for yourself, and let us know if you disagree or agree with our rating, because we love to have you guys play along at home. We love to hear from you. Let us know what you think, and just send us your ratings. You're part of the team too. We love to hear from you guys. Great job on Dark Castle for having another great year, and we cannot wait to see you next year. So if you want to purchase tickets to Dark Castle, here's how you can do it. You can purchase tickets when you arrive at Dark Castle, or you can purchase tickets online. Tickets are good for any day of the season, but please note that online ticketing will be unavailable during box office hours. The haunted attraction boasts 3 separate events with one ticket price of $22 per person. First, you'll step into the Dungeon of Darkness haunted house to see what's lurking behind the castle walls. Next, you'll explore the Dark Knight's realm on a fully guided outdoor trailer through the woods. Then you'll take action with our interactive zombie survival scenario, where you are armed with a laser gun to clear the area of the infected. Masks will be required to enter the events. Please arrive within your scheduled ticket time. If you'd like to purchase an entire time slot of 8 tickets, use the promo code QUARANTINE to receive $16 off. Escape room pricing. Tickets for the 5-minute escape room can only be purchased on site, $5 per person or $8 for 2. They have an online escape room as well, and you can play that via Zoom from anywhere. You can book now some RIP tickets, which is just a really impressive package is what they're calling it. You'll get the VIP treatment here, so you'll get access to all 3 haunted attractions. You'll go straight to the front of the line, receive a custom-made Dark Castle washable face mask, chips, and drink when you arrive. You will also be granted admission into an exclusive RIP lounge where you get to go behind the scenes and even scare the other customers, so that's kind of cool. The price for that can be anywhere from $48 to $63 depending on the date. They also have a break room, so tickets for the break room can be purchased on site. A single smash is 1 person, 12 small breakables, and 1 electronic. 10-minute time limit, $20. Couple smash, up to 2 people, 24 small breakables, and 1 electronic, 15-minute time limit, $30. And then Hulk smash, up to 2 people, 24 small breakables, 2 electronics, 1 large item, can be a toilet, washing machine, or a large TV. It's a 25-minute time limit, and that is $50. Dark Castle will be open on select evenings from September 24th through November 6th. You can follow their social media for more information and to keep up with them. All that is listed down below, as well as their address and website where you can find them. So be sure to go check out Dark Castle Haunted Attraction this season and let us know what you think. Like I said before, maybe you agree with our rating or maybe you don't, and if you don't or you do, send in your thoughts. We'd love to have you guys play along at home and let us know what you thought about Dark Castle Haunted Attraction. But that is going to bring us to the end of this episode of the Terror Talks. We hope you enjoyed this episode because we know that we did. If you did, be sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like. If you want to contact us, you can contact us at theterrortalks@gmail.com, or you can contact us directly on any one of our social medias listed below. You can listen to us on all of our listening platforms. We're listed below, but just a couple of them. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and like I said, there's more listed below. You can go check out our website, which is listed in the description. That's where we post all of our written haunt reviews, and so that's where you will find all of those for the 2021 season and beyond. If you want to give us a little bit of extra support, you can go check out our Patreon and subscribe to that. Your subscription allows us to keep putting out more content, so every little bit helps. We have several packages you can subscribe for, whether it be as little as $1 a month or $10 a month. Every little bit helps. You can see what sort of awesome perks you'll get by joining up for that today. Finally, we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in with us each episode. We cannot do the show without you. You truly are what makes this show happen, and we just love to have you along for the journey each time we do it. So, we hope you enjoyed this episode where we talked about Dark Castle Haunted Attractions and gave our 2021 haunt review for them. We hope you go check them out this season. All their information is listed in the description below. Go check them out. You don't want to miss it, and let us know what you thought. But until next time, be safe out there, don't text and drive, and be excellent to each other. Take care, everybody.